Hello and welcome to Nelson All Over Cards. My name is Nelson and this is a new type of video. We're going to try something new because on the Discord and also just kind of I want to be doing some more deck building stuff on the channel. And on the Discord we have this thing called the Deck Factory where every probably 2 weeks or so we post a card that doesn't get as much love as maybe some of the other cards in this game do. And then the idea is to construct a deck that kind of utilizes, or that card is the cornerstone of that deck. And so I wanted to kind of try a video version of that. So I figured it'd be kind of fun to build a deck, talk about the card, and then also have that in parallel with the Deck Factory on the Discord. You can find the link to the Discord down below if you are interested in kind of engaging with that community. So I will just go ahead and say, let me know if you like these videos. It's going to be kind of talking about the card, and then I'm going to go through a deck build. If you don't like the videos, let me know that as well, because honestly, I want to make videos that are useful to you all and that are entertaining for you all. But let's go ahead and dive in. The card of the fortnight, I guess we're going to call it, is Sneak Attack. So this is a 1-cost leadership event that came out with the War Machine Hero Pack. It says you can choose an ally in your hand that shares a trait with your identity. You can put that ally into play, and if the ally is still in play at the end of the phase, you discard it. Now, when this was announced, I was really hyped for this card because I love the Lord of the Rings version, which is significantly stronger than the Marvel Champions version. Because after playing the Marvel Champions version, I realized that it started to fall a little flat for me. First, it costs 2 effective resources, the card itself plus this Sneak Attack card. So in order for it to pay off, we need a fairly expensive ally in order for it to trigger. Also, you need that ally in your hand because you put it into play from your hand. Second, it has to be discarded before we can chump block with them in the standard phase where the villain would attack us. Now, my wheels started going whenever I started thinking about the Sneak Attack, about ways that we can trigger the villain attacking, we can chump block with the Sneak Attack ally. That's not really what this deck that I'm going to be talking about today, but it was just another kind of thought, like bait and switch or toe-to-toe, these kind of cards that initiate a villain attack during the player phase, we can chump block. So I was like, oh, there's some interesting synergy there. But then the third kind of thing that I think really hurts Sneak Attack compared to the Lord of the Rings version is that it has to share a trait with your identity. So you can't be sneaking attack Gandalf with your hobbits. I guess thematically that would make sense. But like, you can't be sneak attacking X-Men when you're playing Captain America. So that's kind of the restrictions around the card. It's a pretty decent number of restrictions, but that does mean if you have more restrictions, I feel like that can create some pretty interesting deck builds. So a couple of things that went through my head when I was kind of starting to think about what deck I wanted to build for Sneak Attack. I thought about Spider-Woman, being able to bring the multi-aspects, being able to trigger that bait and switch or the toe-to-toe with the leadership card, which is Sneak Attack. So I thought there was a little bit of cool synergy there. She also brings the shield trait, and a lot of the shield cards, when they interplay, I'm thinking like Nick Fury, you get a lot of really cool interactions there, which could be pretty powerful. My other thought was like Cyclops. He's able to bring the X-Men, all of the X-Men to the table. You can also grab Sneak Attack with Tactical Brilliance because it is a tactics traded card. So you can be spamming Sneak Attacks and you have just a stupid amount of X-Men. Now that I'm thinking about it, I actually do kind of want to build a Cyclops deck anyways. But I did settle on a hero that I don't normally play, or I don't play a lot, and that's Hawkeye. So let's go ahead, we're going to hop down to the table, and we're going to take a look at the Sneaky Sniper deck that I built for Hawkeye. Let's go. So yeah, welcome to the table. Let's talk about the Sneaky Sniper build with Hawkeye. So this is all about utilizing Sneak Attack. So let's go ahead and put these up here at the top. This is the first time in a long time where I've done a long form video where I've talked about a deck build, so we're going to figure out how to make it look pretty. So Sneak Attack, everything that we've been talking about in the video so far, put an ally into play, it is an action. It is not a hero action, it is not an alter ego action, so we can do it wherever. Hawkeye in hero form is a Avenger, so we're going to trigger Falcon. So after he enters play, look at the top 3 cards of the encounter deck. For each treachery removed that way, remove 1 threat from his scheme, which is really nice because we do have a bit of trouble thwarting with Hawkeye. So this is going to help that out. So getting a 2 effective resource in for a 5 effective resource ally. Come in, we can remove threat as well as kind of see what's coming in the deck and then thwart for 2. Another option here is Goliath. So we have an action on Goliath, which is triggerable. Yeah, there we go. That says Goliath gets +4 attack until the end of the phase. At the end of the phase, discard Goliath. We're discarding Goliath regardless, so we will trigger this. So we can come in, Goliath can hit for 5, feel pretty good. Same kind of thing with Giant Man. So Giant Man is another Avenger that we can sneak attack. He gets +2 while he has 3 or more remaining hit points. And so Giant Man can come in, he gets 4 attack, and we're swinging real hard. And then the last one here is Power Man. But Power Man enters play with 2 counters, and we can discard counters to give Power Man +2 attack for each counter discarded. Discard all the counters. We're discarding Power Man anyways, so we might as well just kind of get that utilization out of Power Man. That being said, since it is also we can use sneak attack in Alter Ego. Hawkeye is not an Avenger in Alter Ego, but he is a shield agent. We are going to be bringing 2 copies of Honorary Avenger. Now, the first copy, it's 2 just so we can get it out pretty easily, quickly. Now, this is a max 1 per character, so I think this deck is working best in 2-player. Solo, it works. 2-player is kind of where this deck is going to thrive. And so Honorary Avenger can also go on one of your teammates, or there are some of these allies that we're going to be throwing out that we may want to not sneak attack. We want to actually put them out and have them available for the entirety of the game, or as much of the game as possible. But since we are shield over here, we can use sneak attack while in Alter Ego, and we probably will be wanting to flip fairly frequently. I think probably every single turn if we can manage it. So down in shield, or down in Alter Ego with shield, we're going to use Nick Fury. Come in, get that +3 card draw. So now we're actually plus cards. 2 effective resource, 3 cards. We're cycling this deck pretty quickly. We got Dum Dum Dugan. And this is kind of where you can start to see the archetype of the deck take place. So we got a couple of shield cards. So whenever you use one of his basic powers, we can exhaust up to 3 shield cards you control. For each card exhausted, we get +1 power. Doesn't really matter, especially because if we're sneak attacking Dum Dum, he's not hanging around for very long regardless, so I don't think we're going to be exhausting too many shield cards, but we'll talk about the twist here in a second. We got Maria Hill, we've got Agent 13. So Maria Hill, everyone draws a card. Probably not sneak attacking Maria Hill. You do get a discount of 1, but Maria Hill, probably we can just play her. And be fine. Agent 13 is also one of those that we want to play, keep on the table so that we can start readying some of our supports, which we'll talk about here in a second. And also is a pretty nice target for Honorary Avenger just to get her +1 hit point to get her an extra activation. Because we want to be utilizing our shield trait here on our Alter Ego side, in order to roll down, we're going to need some Confuse. So we've got 2 Confuse cards in Hawkeye's kit with Sonic Arrow, which will allow us to trigger all of these allies using Sneak Attack. And then also we're going to bring along Professor X, who is kind of the odd man out here, who does not share a trait at all with Clint, but 3 effective resources. He needs help thwarting anyways, and also another source to Confuse to flip down. This is more so for the solo. If you're running in a multi-handed game, you could probably scrap Professor X, because we are, I should have looked at this, I think we're at 44 cards. So we are running a little bit high here. Next up, let's talk about the gimmick of the deck, right? So the entire thing is built around Sneak Attack, but how can we kind of make Sneak Attack a little bit better? We got Command Team. Let's scoot all of these up a little bit. It's also so very nice. When I do these videos, when I do the shorts, when you'll probably see a short of this deck as well, I have 60 seconds. I have 60 seconds and I have to convey so much information in 60 seconds. So it's so nice to just take a little bit of time and explain. And it's so much nicer. So Command Team, we can exhaust Command Team, remove 1 counter from it, and ready an ally. So Sneak Attack and let's say let's say Goliath. We get +4 attack. Now we're swinging for 5. We can Command Team Goliath, stand up, and sneak attack one more, or not sneak attack, but attack 1 more time. So that's 10 damage right there off of Goliath. So pretty cool stuff there. Now this is where it gets really fun. If Goliath leaves play, or if any of these allies leave play after sneak attack, from being defeated, which they can be with consequential damage. So if we pull Goliath out here, we attack twice, Goliath leaves play. We don't have to discard Goliath now that he's left play from the sneak attack. If we rapid response Goliath or any of these other cards that we have snuck attack into play, we don't have to then discard the ally. So I did make sure, I checked with a couple of the rules experts on this one. This is actually how it works. So if we sneak attack Goliath in, we attack using his action, that's 5 damage. We can command team, ready Goliath, attack. Goliath gets defeated. We can trigger rapid response to pull Goliath back in. Now we have Goliath on the table for 2 effective resource costs, and we can either thwart with him, we can attack with him again, we can do a lot of different things with Goliath. That works for all of these, especially because a lot of these have when entering play abilities. So if we have Nick Fury out, right? If we play or sneak attack Nick Fury, we draw 3 cards. We thwart twice with Nick Fury using our command teams. Thwart 3 times using 2 command teams. Rapid response, pull Nick back and draw 3 cards. Nick can thwart again, and now we have Nick for the villain phase to chump block. So it's a really fun little combo. I like it a lot. Getting these command teams out is critical to kind of getting that extra benefit. I would say that like just having these without the command teams is still like fairly decent. You can have a pretty good time with without rapid responding all these allies back in, but it is really fun to do so. So that's kind of the gimmick. Now note that command team, Maria, Dum Dum, Nick, Agent 13 are all shields. We also have a Helicarrier, but then that's going to allow us to trigger Sky Destroyer. So we got the Sky Destroyer here. So whenever we play a shield card, and it is play, so it does not trigger off a sneak attack, but it does whenever we play a card. So if we just straight up play Nick, we get this. If we play command team, we get the 2 damage from Sky Destroyer. And then we also have Make the Calls to bring any of these allies back. A lot of these do have nice when entering play abilities. Again, not triggering Sky Destroyer because it's after you play a card, not after it enters play. But a lot of these cards are after they enter play. So if we have, you know, Maria Hill, or heck, even X, if we need another Confused to roll down, and we want that security in Alter Ego form, then, or want that security to go to Alter Ego form, we can use Make the Call, bring X back, bring Nick Fury back, flexibility, right? We've got Superpower Training. So Superpower Training is going to grab our Expert Marksman, but most importantly, Hawkeye's Quiver. Hawkeye's Quiver, the game changes when he has his quiver. We're able to search for the answers, which are going to be all of our different arrows. And so if we have that ability, we're going to grab Expert Marksman. If we find Hawkeye's Quiver. If we find Hawkeye's Quiver early, then we have this out here for an Expert Marksman, and we can start shooting our arrows off. We have the Triskelion, which again is another shield card. And this gives us +1 ally slot. So what I've found is that a lot of these sometimes, like if we have Agent 13 out, if we have Maria Hill out, we have Mockingbird out, who is another one of an ally in the deck who is an Avenger shield, so we can actually sneak attack Mockingbird in either Alter Ego or hero form. If we have these, then we can run into an ally problem at some point. We're gonna end that with the 3 doubles, and that's going to be the Sneaky Sniper deck. Now, I think there are some modifications that I could see making in this deck, right? Dropping X out if we're playing like in a 4-player game. I don't think we need X in there. And 2-player game, depending on who your partner is, if you're running Justice alongside of this deck, you probably don't need X. And then I think we could make a play for oh my goodness, build support. Wow. Build support is a decent option here. We have Sky Destroyer, Helicarrier, command teams, which are all decent triggers for build support. I left it out because we were running a little bit high on the deck count, and also the link for this deck is going to be down below. But I left it out thinking that, again, kind of thinking we're going to be running higher player count with this deck, 2, maybe 3, and hopefully the other player can bring that. But if they are not, I would seriously consider, especially if you are dropping X, to add build support back into this deck. So it is a pretty flexible deck. It's fun. It's fun. And we will see a 2-handed gameplay with this deck. And so I'm gonna pair this with somebody, and I haven't figured out exactly who I'm gonna pair this with. So we'll leave that kind of to be a little surprise, mainly because I don't know. So it's gonna be a surprise to me as well. But the idea behind the paired deck is running like toe-to-toe. So toe-to-toe is the villain attacks you, then you deal 5 damage to the villain. Since we are going to be losing these allies regardless, we might as well, like, if we have Maria come in, thwart command team, other player calls on the action, plays toe-to-toe, then we can have Maria help jump in and block. So that's kind of the idea of the two-handed gameplay. We also have like bait and switch, petulant pig for Spider-Ham. There's a couple of things that you can have these snuck attack allies to come in and save a friend. But that's Hawkeye, the sneaky sniper. Let's finish up the video and go back to that. Let me know what you think about sneak attack. Go ahead and join the Discord, join the conversation there, where we're going to be discussing sneak attack and we're going to be building decks around sneak attack. Or let me know in the comments if you don't use Discord. Let me know in the comments what you think about sneak attack, or share your deck list here on YouTube as well. But I appreciate you all. Thank you so very much. Again, let me know if you hate the video, just let me know, because I am looking to make content that is entertaining and beneficial for you and the community. So I appreciate y'all. I'll see you around. Peace.